There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's see here. Okay.
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 All right.
So we got blocked by Facebook. They didn't want us playing any music. And honestly,
that music needs to be blocked.
Hey, like and share, like and share, like and share, especially if you're over here around the Jasper area. Let's see here. Kenneth Weeks.
Yeah, I've got them. I got those written down.
Okay. All right, about to get kicked off here, guys. Hold tight with us. If you would, share us. And, hey, help us out there. Share us, like us, whatever you want to do.
What's Cochran's first name?
Cochran, Ronnie Cochran.
Ronnie.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
This is paid for programming, which may not represent the views and beliefs of this station, its management, staff. Listen at your own risk.
A bit of Tom Waits.
That'll work. That'll work.
You are listening to Not on the Payroll right here at 107.3 FM KJAS. If you are interested in giving us a call tonight, it's a very, very, very interesting turn of events here in the city of Jasper. We'll get to that here in a minute. But give us a call if you want to tune in or want to call in, rather. Telephone number is 384-2626. That's 384-2626. I'm your host, Jay Sharp, and I have my co-host here with me, all looking dapper and gentlemanly, Mr. Kerry Thomas. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. I must apologize. I got chewed out by somebody because I did not wear a jacket and tie in the previous
In the previous show?
shows.
Really?
Yes, and so I've got a jacket and tie on tonight.
Your mother.
It was not Mom.
Mom didn't
It
do it?
was not Mom.
Oh, man.
My mom just listens to it on the radio.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Interesting.
just out of curiosity's sake, how old are you today?
I turned 45 today. 45.
Man,
Yep.
man,
Getting on up there.
Did you get up singing Garth Brooks's, I'm not too young to be this damn old?
Yeah, exactly. That's a what's interesting, I got out of bed late. This
Okay.
is how my day went. I got out of bed late.
What is late?
Well, it's later than I want to admit, so there you go. We got up.
4:30, 5 o'clock?
It was about 10 o'clock.
Whoa.
But first time I've done that in, I would say, at least
That's your birthday.
At least a week or so.
It's your birthday.
But anyway, so we went out. We bought chickens for the kids, and we have we got a brooder for the kids. So we started getting the chickens acclimated and all that stuff, and trying to keep our dog from eating the chickens, the little baby bitties. And so now our kids are going to get to learn how to work. We also put up an axe throwing target for a party we're going to have on Saturday.
Oh, buddy.
And so
Oh, buddy.
So
I see a
if I
trip
ru-
to the hospital for stitches.
if I run out of ammo, I'll know how to throw an axe maybe. But no, man, it's been a pretty laid back day. Smoked a cigar, hung out for a little while, and here we are. We wanted to make it down to City Hall to actually see kind of what was going on here at Jasper City Hall, and actually it was very, very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, if you live in Jasper, Texas, I'm asking you to call everybody that you know right now. We just started the show. We got about 55 minutes left in the show. I want you to call everybody in Jasper and have them tune in, okay? Because we're going to talk about some things that are super important to you. If you weren't able to get down to the meeting, or if you were down at the meeting, huge shift of things going on.
It was a good crowd down there.
It was a good crowd down there. So if you get a chance, if you live in Jasper proper, this show is going to have a lot to do with you guys, okay? Because we're going to encourage you to do something I've never encouraged anybody to do. And we'll get to that here in a minute.
Okay.
We've got a number of races that just wrapped up. We're going to give you a little bit so you can actually call around, talk to your people, and get people on to listen to what's going on here. Okay, some of you may not listen to 107.3 all the time, but here's the thing. This is going to be very, very important show for Jasper. We got an update here for you that we want to give to you here in about 15 minutes. So go ahead and call around, talk to your people, get your friends and neighbors in the whole 9 yards, and have them tune in because this is going to be very, very, very interesting. If you want to call in, give us a call, 384-2626, once we kind of get off into the cesspool of what we've got to talk tonight. But we've got some interesting things happening. First of all, before we do anything, we want to let you know to go down to Stewart Glass and spend your money as it pertains to glass for your house or automotive. Go spend your money with the good people down at Stewart Glass. Stewart Glass has been taking care of people for years. They take care of me. They take care of all of my family. And they take care of a lot of families throughout Southeast Texas. So here's the thing. Go down to Stewart Glass. We appreciate them for being a sponsor here. And we also want to thank Lake Area Pawn. Lake Area Pawn has hooked me up with a number of good weapons. And to be honest with you, if you need a tree climbing stand, if you need a bow, if you need a guitar, if you need whatever your life may need, Lake Area Pawn probably has it down there for you. So we want to thank both of them for being our sponsors on tonight's show and throughout the rest of March here.
Guns and musical instruments. You can't really beat that. I'll be honest with you.
Exactly.
I'm serious here.
You could go
guns and musical instruments. Come on, man.
You can get you a Glock and a Fender in the
Come
same
on, man.
in the same buggy. You know what I mean? So, but if you need anything else, from chainsaws to weed eaters and all that stuff, they've got all of it, man. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Not on the Payroll, you can check us out here every Thursday night. We're going to have some interesting interviews coming up here over the next few weeks. I'm going to be meeting with Mr. Rashad Lewis. Rashad Lewis. Met him today. Seemed to be very nice, very personable type fella. And I didn't talk to him too much, but seemed kind of impressed with him. Also, Councilman Holmes, we're going to be sitting down with him as well. We're going to be talking about some of the races he's running for as well. But everything's getting stirred up at City Hall. If you've not forwarded this or shared this with a friend, we're on Facebook Live right now. We're not on YouTube yet because I'm still working through some of the kinks with really more my brain than anything. We're trying to get that thing figured out, but we will have that figured out here before the end of the month. We had a number of races run here this past week, and I have been encouraging you, and I will continue to encourage you to speak up and have your voice. The way a democracy provides you a voice is for you to be able to go down and vote. Go down and vote. So you were kind of following a number of these races.
I followed all the races within the state. And the thing that really stuck out to me more than anything else, 17% of the people in the state of Texas voted who were eligible to vote. Wow. 17%. Jasper County was 23.2%. Newton County, 21.5%.
Really?
Tyler County, 26%. They were the leader in the area.
Okay.
And Orange County came in dead last, 16%.
Wow.
Yeah, but only 17% of the people in the state of Texas voted. Several runoffs, as you know.
Right.
Democratic for the lieutenant governor, Republican for the land commissioner between Buckingham and Wesley. Buckingham got 41%, Wesley got 14%. Runoff for the Democrat between Dudley and Vega for the comptroller. That's like the treasurer, for those of you who did not know.
Okay.
The Railroad Commission, there's a runoff in the Republican Party between Wayne Christian and Stogar. Christian got 47%. Stogar got 15%, but there were also about 6 other people running.
Wow.
Yeah, so it really threw a monkey wrench into that.
Sure.
I know over in Tyler County, there's a number of runoffs. For judge, there's one between Melissa Riley and Milton Powers. Riley got 40%, Powers got 39%.
Wow.
Yeah, close race. Treasurer, Leanne Monk, who's the incumbent, got 40%. And a Megan Rains Odom, got that British hyphenation going on there, I'm assuming, got
Right.
35%. Precinct 2 commissioner over in Tyler County, Sturrock, the incumbent, got 37%. And Hughes got 29%. Finally, Precinct 4, JP in Tyler County, Jim Moore, the incumbent, got 42%, and Henry Sawyer, 40%. Once again, to get the nomination, you need 50.1% of the votes.
Right.
So I'm just wondering how many people will not vote
In the runoff.
in the runoff.
Yeah, if it was that bad.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and we also have a runoff that's going
I was
on.
fixed to let you talk
Yeah.
about Newton County a little
Yeah,
bit.
I was over in Newton County, and I'll be honest with you, it was wild. It was wild. We're going to talk about these elections here for just a few minutes, but we're going to spend the last half of the show with an update for you what's going on at City Council right now. You have not heard this. We just left
Yeah, we just
the
left the
location.
building. We just left the building.
And you have not heard what we're going to be talking about. So I would encourage you, if you live in Jasper proper, get your people on the line and get them listening to what's being said tonight. If you want to go check us out at Facebook Live, you can check us out there. Check us out at our website, notonthepayroll.com. You can also check us out on YouTube. The race over in Newton County, very, very interesting. Ronnie Cochran was challenging Judge Kenneth Weeks, okay? I went out there. I was really kind of blown away with the setup.
I was too.
Honestly.
I was too.
I felt like I was
If-
stepping back in
It
time.
was. You posted it
Yeah.
on Facebook, and I'm sitting there going, this is circa 1850.
Absolutely. And I'm kind of sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, what is going on here? It was almost like families were just pulling up to the gazebo, and this
Yeah.
is what historically they've done.
Yeah.
And they're going to walk around, and they'll have, if we'd had a hot dog vendor out there, there would have been hot dogs everywhere. There would have been drinks in the whole 9 yards. And maybe that's part of the nostalgia.
And
of
I'm
it.
telling you, it's cool. I
mean,
don't care what anybody says. It's cool.
it
I'm
was
not.
cool.
I'm not knocking it. I'm
And the
saying
people would go
this-
back and
This
forth.
is what way it should be.
Yeah, the people would go back and forth. Each one of the boxes came in, but the people would go back and forth, coming and writing in all the numbers and all that stuff. But it looks like Kenneth Weeks and Ronnie Cochran, there's going to be a runoff there. And I'll be honest, there was a lot of support both ways.
Yeah.
A lot of support.
Yeah.
It was really kind of shocking. It was shocking to me to see how much support the challenger had.
Right.
Because there's been a lot of conversation. There's been a lot of talk about. There's been a lot of talk about what Kenneth Weeks has done, and right now I was sitting here thinking, okay, well, we just got finished talking to him about the bio refinery coming in and all these
Right.
things, and I'll be interested to see how much of that sways the people's vote toward what he's doing or not. All right.
Right.
And what's interesting is, and you've got the numbers here, but it looks like Ronnie Cochran had 49 point something percent, and I think it was Kenneth Weeks had 42%. And so it was not. It was very close. It wasn't a runaway either way. But it's obvious. There's a lot of people in Newton County who's looking for change. And also, Leonard Bubba Powell won on the south side of the county. He was running for precinct. I think it was precinct 4.
No. That precinct 4 is Marks.
Okay.
Mr. Marks is in precinct 4.
Okay, but that's in Jasper.
Right.
But this is over in Newton
Oh,
County.
I'm sorry.
So in Newton County, I think precinct 4 is down there as well. But I think Leonard Bubba Powell won that race pretty much. I mean, it was a runaway. The interesting race on the south end of Jasper County, to me, was how many people voted down there
was
for both
1,000
guys.
people voted for both men, and it was like a 54, 52
Right.
vote difference.
Yeah.
And as somebody posted on Facebook, can we all be friends again now?
Yeah, I tell you, it was
It
very
was ugly. It got ugly.
And what's crazy is this: to me, I didn't really see that out of either one of the candidates.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I didn't see the mudslinging or anything like that. I didn't see it.
Right.
At the same time, maybe there was some of that. I don't know, but I really felt like I was honest to God. I was proud I was proud of the south part of the county.
I was proud of precinct. I was proud of my Buna people.
I'm
as I
telling
say.
you, man, I really was. And I'll be honest with you, and this is not hatred toward Buna in any way, shape, or form, but man, a lot of times when you hear Buna in the context of conversation, it's not a prideful moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's normally associated with, you know.
I say that, but
you know what I mean?
well, I was pretty proud of my time there.
Well, proud of your time is one thing, but it almost seems like when Buna is brought up in the conversation, just in the populace, it's normally kind of
somebody that I know refers to it as Vider North.
wow, wow,
Yeah. Somebody I know refers to it as Vider North.
So I don't know, man. I was very proud of that South precinct, man, for you guys stepping up. And I'll be honest with you, man. Either one of those guys, Dennis has been around. Dennis was he was a little league coach and I think he even did a little dribblers at one point. He's been very active in the community since before he had children.
Right.
And so you've got a great commissioner with Dennis Marks, and you would have had a great commissioner with Kevin Walker. Two different temperaments, and coming from two different angles. So I mean, you know, here's the deal: the people have voted. That's what democracy is about. You stood up. You made your vote, you made your voice, you put it out there, and this is what you got. So
I'm just hoping that the folks in Buna can come together again. I'm sure they can, but for a while there,
well, this is like cousin against cousin, brother against
brother against brother.
That's exactly right.
So
I mean, who knows? It'll give us all an opportunity to sit down at Thanksgiving and really just.
This afternoon it seemed like it had calmed down a pretty good bit. But, yesterday, yesterday
it was hot.
Yesterday was hot.
Well, one of the posts that I saw on Facebook was this, and I thought this was. I can't remember who posted this, or I would call you out and I would thank you for that, but. You posted a picture of Dennis Marks and Kevin Walker shaking hands.
Right.
And I think the statement it was being alluded to, both of these men were wanting to do good for this area.
For the community,
and this precinct.
Yeah.
So you have people out there who love the community. And to be honest with you, you know, more power to them. It's now the work starts. Enough of the talking. Yeah. Now the work starts.
Yeah. And let me tell you about politics, folks. Once again, in 4 years there will be another election if you're unhappy.
Absolutely.
That's the way politics works. In 4 years there will be another election.
Well, and I think Jasper kind of showed that off somewhat because on the north end of the county, had Roy Parker was the incumbent. Right. He's been I think he's been well over 10 years. He's been a commissioner. And Kevin Holloway ran against him. From what I understand, he's never run for any public office or anything, and basically put down his gun and badge, working at the sheriff's department.
Right.
And actually won that thing, man. I think he won it with over 120 votes. So I mean, you know, there was some hot contested races, man. But I'll be honest with you, I was proud to see what went down. I mean, even though when you look at it like this, these numbers are horrible. Tyler County showed up with a quarter of their people.
Well, I think part of the deal on Tyler County is the county judge was running. They had several commissioners,
sure.
The treasurer.
Yeah.
And in this county, we had what? Two major races?
Two major races,
and
I think it was.
Never mind the entire Republican Party and the entire Democratic Party were putting their slate out for statewide offices.
And the governor's race.
The governor's race, lieutenant. We don't have to forget
don't
that.
Don't even worry about it. Yeah.
I
don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just tuning in, we're kind of giving you a little bit of an update here on the Not on the Payroll show. Yeah, this is what it is. This is about as good as it gets. But here's the thing. If you want to chime in, give us a call, 384-2626. 384-2626 is the number. If you have not talked to, if you know people here in Jasper,
the city of
Jasper. We've got some very important news we're going to be breaking out here in the next few minutes. So go ahead and get your people gathered around the radio or get them on Facebook. Doesn't matter to me. Go over to Not on the Payroll on Facebook. We are live right there. And you can see us, and then we can just have somewhat of an interactive situation here for you. Wow. So where to start? Where to start with the city of Jasper? Man, I swear to God, here's what sums it up of what happened. Okay, here's what sums it up. I walk out onto the step, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, and please forgive me on this. I walked out onto the step at the PD, at the police department. Okay. Now, there's a reason we got to the police department. Nobody took us in handcuffs.
No.
He was dressed up too nice, and I wasn't walking like a lunatic. But
I even took my gun out.
yeah, exactly. So we walk outside. I walk outside the PD, and there's a gentleman standing there who's worked he's worked in and around the county for years, and or I think he's with the city, if I'm not mistaken. And he's just standing there looking at the ground, and he's just kind of shaking his head. I said, well, what do you think about it, bud? And he goes, poor Jasper. Poor old Jasper. And I said, man, it's like we go from one circus to the next in this town. And he goes, man, he said, that is no joke, from one circus to the next. And I don't want anybody to misunderstand me. I love a circus. I love a circus. I love a circus as long as it stays under a big tent, and as long as the elephants,
got 3 rings.
as long as the elephants don't get out and start killing everybody.
Ringmaster.
We got a ringmaster in the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, what is going on in Jasper, Texas right now is par for the course. Par for the course of how. How do we do this? How do we get? It's like. It's the blind leading the deaf and the dumb in a lot of ways, it feels like. At least that's how it feels like to me. And maybe some of you guys can correct me, chastise me, whatever. It is my birthday, so take it easy. But it was almost like, I was sitting here with a quandary this afternoon thinking, man, what do we want to talk about these elections? And we show up down to City Hall. There was a special call meeting. So we went live, and you guys can actually go back and look at the live video that we posted on Not on the Payroll on Facebook. We go down to City Hall, and we're prepared. We walk in, and we want to be involved. We want to see all the questions be answered by the people. This is a special call meeting for the citizens of Jasper proper to come and ask questions about this broadband situation. Okay, that's what it was there for.
And it was a good crowd. Once again, a good crowd.
How many, if you're going to throw out an estimate? 40 people? 40, 50 people?
50,
Somewhere
something
in there.
like that.
I would say 40 or 50 people.
40, 50.
With everybody
Yeah.
involved. Initially, okay? I'd say 40 to 50 people, somewhere in there. What's wild is we show up. None of the council people are at the meeting except for Councilman Anderson Land and Councilman Holmes. Councilman Holmes. Both of those gentlemen are standing there, and I'm hearing Councilman Land kind of be apologetic in a way that none of the other council people showed up to listen to the people's questions.
Nor the mayor.
Nor the mayor. The mayor didn't even show up.
No.
So there was no quorum to be able to have, and to break it down as easily as I can for you. In order for there to be a legal meeting at City Hall, now don't beat me up on this, but this is my East Texas understanding of it. In order for there to be a legal meeting, there has to be what's called a quorum.
Exactly.
That quorum has to have at least 3 members of the city council.
Exactly.
Okay? At least 3 members. So what they did was, by Randy Sayers not showing up, Michael Daniels, David Schultz, and Laura Golden, by the 4 of them basically kind of boycotting this listening to the people meeting, because that's what this was all about. If you wanted to say anything or ask questions, that's what this was all about. Those 4 individuals basically boycotted that meeting.
And they knew about it.
They knew about it. Everyone had it.
They knew about it. They had received texts for it. They just ignored the text. They ignored everything that was going on about it.
Except for Laura Golden. She did respond to the text.
Yes,
I'm not
she did.
sure what she said, but the standard, I guess, of operation is when they're going to have a meeting, everybody receives a text, I think, from the city,
Right.
from one of the individuals at the city, and then they move forward.
Right.
So tonight, because they could not have a quorum and because it was called a special called meeting, you basically had two men with Councilman Holmes and Councilman Land standing there, and they couldn't have a meeting. There was no way to have the meeting, you know. So what they decided to do, the chief of police was there, and the chief said, hey, or somebody suggested maybe we could go over and meet in the courtroom because we can't meet here because this is considered a special called meeting. So everybody had to gather up and get in their vehicle and had to head over to the police department, which is right across the little knoll there. But we all had to go over there, and then we all filed into a courtroom.
We lost about 40% of the people. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
At least.
We lost
at least
40%.
And they didn't have enough room to be able to house it. We were standing
They
up
couldn't have
around.
put everybody in there.
Absolutely. And so we're all standing there, and the whole premise of this was you had a whole group of citizens who came to ask questions, and there was only two council people who made themselves available to answer. That was Anderson Land and Councilman Holmes. And I'm sitting here going, I'm watching this thing unfold. And I'm thinking to myself, why? Okay, I'm just going to give you a heads up here. Come May, you've got an opportunity to vote these people out, okay? It doesn't make me a hill of beans if this is how you want your city run. If you want a group of people who are leading this city who refuse to answer your questions, that's on you. That ain't on me. That ain't on Kerry.
No.
It ain't on us. Kerry, you live in Orange County.
I do.
I live in Newton County. But I'm telling you this, for them to basically boycott this meeting to listen to the people that they're supposed to represent, I think that says all you need to know. And to be honest with you, I wish there would be an upswell. I wish there would be this groundswell that comes about through the people of the city and demand a resignation, at least of the mayor, because this was ridiculous. He's supposed to be, I understand he shows up and he only votes. He only votes if there's a tie. I get that. But he is setting a tone for the people that they don't want to listen to what you've got to say. Now, here's the thing. I have called, I have communicated on this program. I have done everything that I can do to get them to sit down with us and answer questions. Maybe they think the questions are too hard. Maybe they think the questions, they can't answer the questions because we're going to get into technicals. I don't give a crap about how broadband works, okay? I do not care how broadband works. I'm not going to ask you, well, is it going to be this many gigabytes or that many terabytes or what are we doing here? You know, I'm not going to get into that type of crap. But here's the fact of the matter. The fact that they would not even sit down with us, and then they turned around and showed that they will not sit down with you, the people of Jasper proper.
Jay, I have been affiliated with government entities my entire life, one way or another. I've worked for government entities. I've been associated with government entities. When something like this has happened in the past with the entities that I have been affiliated with, somebody had to resign.
Somebody resigns.
Somebody had to go.
Absolutely.
And I don't know why. I don't know what these people are afraid of.
I don't know.
I don't know what, are they afraid of their own constituents?
Well, let me just say this.
That's not good.
It just seems,
If you're afraid of them, you need to get out.
well, here's the deal. It just seems like it's more and more questionable, the entire motivation to go into this whole process with broadband. That's what they just showed tonight. And I'll be honest with you. You know,
Makes you question it.
It makes you question it. Here's what I can say, all right? Now, some of you people out there want to, you know, you may want to throw around the idea that I'm just a shield for Mike Lout and KJS, and, you know, I'm kind of this loose cannon that flops around out here and just hits and misses and tries to stir up stuff and all that. But let me just say it like this, because I watched this with my own eyes, and y'all, you can think what you want to think, okay? But I was here. All right? I worked for KJS back in 2012, 2013, and during the season where there was rumor, okay? There was rumor being spread in this town about Mike Lout.
I remember that.
Rumor in this town, and everybody wanted to jump up, and everybody wanted to go for his throat. They wanted to go for his throat over rumors, okay? Now, I don't care what you believe, but I'm telling you what I watched. I watched Mike Lout make himself available time and time again to answer the questions of the people. Now, you might not like what he said. You might not liked his answer, okay? But anybody I ever watched come down here to the radio station, to City Hall, he made himself available on the street out here. He's made himself available. Now, I'm not pushing Mike Lout in any way, shape, or form. What I'm telling you is, this town wanted to pull out the cross and the nails for a man over a rumor. Okay? Over a rumor. It was a rumor. That was a big portion of what was going on. That's what got everybody stirred up. Rumors. He had promised this or promised that, which all come out from everybody who was supposedly involved as being false. What you're seeing right now going on with your city council is insanity. It's insanity. And if you don't go after your mayor for telling you basically he's not listening to what you've got to say, if you don't go after these city council people come May, shame on you. Shame on you. If you got out there and signed petitions back 10 years ago and you ain't willing to step up to the plate and make your voice known, now I'm going to tell you something. I feel like I'm fixing to get off on a pulpit here in a minute.
Yeah, it sounds like you.
Because here's
you
the
think you
deal.
go seminary?
Because here's the thing. I'm doing everything I can right now just to bust out cursing. Because people in this town wanted to crucify a man over a rumor. Okay? And here's the thing. You may look at Mike and you may think that he's bulletproof and he's Teflon and nothing ever sticks and all this stuff and but the whole town turned on him and wanted to turn on him over a rumor. I say the whole town. There's a bunch of people that they weren't able to get the recall election because there's a bunch of people who didn't believe the rumor. But there's a bunch of people in this town who believe, still today, that he was, this rumor was true, that he promised a position and he did this and he did that and blah, 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 blah. Here's the fact of the matter. I'm telling you right now, the man who sits in the mayor's seat right now ought to resign. He ought to resign over his leadership that he showed tonight.
Or lack of leadership.
Well, he showed leadership nonetheless.
Lack of leadership.
I can
it
tell
wasn't
you
leadership because he wasn't there.
Well, here's the deal. He led. He did not come.
Led by omission.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. And so far as I'm concerned, Michael Daniels, David Schultz, Laura Golden, they have got a lot to account for because you, the people of Jasper proper, man, I'm going to tell you, I'm telling you right now, your people didn't listen to you. They didn't even want to hear what you had to say. So I'm interested to know what Jasper has to think about this. If you're out there, I want to hear from you. 384-2626. Now, here's the thing. I'm not kin to nobody. Mike's not my daddy. He's not my cousin. He's not anything to me. But
Mike's not even running for anything.
Mike ain't even running for anything. I'm bringing it up just simply for the fact that we're willing on some days to jump up and start hewing out a cross over a rumor. And you've got something blatant that's sitting here right in front of you. You've got something blatant, a blatant violation of leadership in this community. And who's going to stand up? I'm telling you, if you don't have somebody who's running against Michael Daniels, if you don't have somebody who's running against David Schultz and Laura Golden, come May, you need to find them. Some of you men out there, some of you women out there, some of you who got some, we'll just call it testicular fortitude, some of you who's got some juice out there, you need to quit pawning some of this stuff off on other people. If you've got some sense and you're willing to listen to the people and you're willing to go down and hear the people, hear their voice, hear their questions, and try to lead honorably. There is no honor in what was done today. And that's the thing that frustrates the hell out of me because I'll be honest with you. If you're gonna elect people to a position, you at least want to see them show up. And I can tell you this, I've only known one other mayor in this town. That was Mike Lout. That's the reason I'm referencing him. And I know for dang sure, because I've seen it with my own eyes, the man sat there and he answered every question he was asked. Okay?
Yeah.
So here's what I'll say.
Mike didn't shirk his responsibility. I'll grant you that much.
And that's all that was done tonight. I don't care what excuse they want to give. I don't care what excuse they have. I don't care if they had a hangnail, a toenail issue. I don't care what they say. I don't care. I do not care what they have to say. What I'm telling you is right now, those 4 individuals need to be out of this city council. That is no way to lead a group of people. That is no way to lead a city. And you put a bunch of people in precarious spots simply for the fact that they didn't come and do their job. Listening to the people is a big portion of being on the council, and they didn't even show up. So if you're willing to go to start hewing out crosses, there's a couple of crosses here to be handed out, in my opinion, because these people shirk their responsibility. And I'll be honest with you, I'm probably speaking to some of them right now. They're probably listening to what I have to say about it right now. I've made myself abundantly available to you guys. You get this half-cocked response, this lame response from Michael Daniels saying that all your questions will be answered in due time. I got an idea for you. Why don't you just answer the people's questions? Why don't you stop your busy life, whatever it is you're doing, and come answer the people's questions?
Heck, call us tonight.
Call us tonight. I would love for you to call me tonight, because it is very frustrating for me to sit here and believe that this is an honorable way to lead the people of Jasper. It's very frustrating to me. It is a big pet peeve of mine. If you choose to run and you are elected, then by God, you come and you stand up and you answer the questions. If you want to chime in, give us a call, 384-2626, 384-2626. I would love to hear from the people of Jasper tonight. I would love to hear from anybody tonight, just as it pertains to this situation. The city council basically boycotted the meeting tonight, is basically what happened. They did not come to the meeting. They didn't want to talk about it. I thought it was also interesting. I'll throw this out here because I hadn't wanted to say this because I thought it was, it was kind of, I don't want to throw stones until I have enough in my back pocket. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the truth of the matter is, did you hear the comment that was made? Did you hear the comment that was made specifically about some of the council members gathering up down at Schultz Funeral Home?
I've heard that, and I don't know that they said, however, that it was actually for lunch.
Oh, so
is what was explained. Now, what actually happened there, I don't know.
I don't either.
I
don't either. Go ahead, caller. Let's see what you got.
Yes, sir. If this broadband was such a great idea, why did the 4 city council people not show up?
Exactly.
I agree 100%.
Exactly.
The city did not put it in their budget for 125 broadband feasibility study.
Right.
Nor did they put $325,000 for set plan. And certainly they didn't put $15 million in there to bring a broadband network here where we already have 5+.
Exactly.
Right.
Maya Angelou says, when a person show you who they are, believe them.
That's exactly right.
City councilman showed us who they are. Get some hands meeting under the table.
Yeah, there's something crazy going on.
Oh, yeah.
What gets me is this. If it's all above board, they didn't show any of us tonight. They didn't reduce any of our concerns.
That's true. That's true. And the meetings that they're having at these specific locations is unreal. I mean, it may be ever so innocent.
That's right.
It looks sneaky suspicious.
Exactly.
And I know something. It may be a private party. Councilman Holmes and Land just didn't get invited.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know, man. I know this. I'm really, at this point, I'm sitting here thinking somebody needs to run against every one of these people, and the mayor needs to step down.
Yeah.
And I'll say it again. It's never a wrong time to do what's right.
That's
You're
exactly
right.
right.
You're right.
We appreciate you giving us a call, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's crazy here in Jasper. Once again, looks like we've got a caller on line 2. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I live south of Jasper, but I'm on the City of Jasper Electric.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And 2 weeks ago, I went to the City Hall, and I asked about the broadband, and they referred me to the City Secretary, and they said, well, there's not going to be anything that happens, and there's going to be a meeting March the 22nd. Well, apparently there was a meeting tonight. My problem is I use Jasper City for my electricity.
Yes, sir.
And so does probably maybe another 50 or more customers. It goes all the way to Rock Hill. Our city electricity goes that far.
Right.
Right.
Was that going to be incorporated? I couldn't get an answer. I couldn't get an answer at how much it was going to cost.
That's a great question. That's a great question. And here's the thing: we sat down there with 50 people. At least it was 40 or 50 people
Yeah.
who wanted to ask the question. And so I'm kind of sitting here going, man, what is happening here? Nobody's showing up to answer these questions. I mean, let's get into why we think this is a good idea for the city. And here's the other side of it. Yeah, the first caller, call us if you want to chime in, 384-2626. That's 384-2626. But the first caller brought up something interesting, talking about, this was not budgeted in. No, it wasn't budgeted in. It was not budgeted because Jasper don't have the budget for this. Jasper's pulling this money out of the SRMPA monies.
This is coming out of the electric bill.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Electric
if you're
money, yeah.
paying electricity out there, I think we got cut off with our second
Yeah.
caller, but this is specifically to you.
Hang on.
Can we hear you? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, man,
Okay.
sorry about that.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
My point is, I'm not, as far as I know, I live out of the city limits, so I don't have a vote on what happens in the city of Jasper, but I rely on Jasper's
Services.
Services, yeah.
Wow.
And then I got the blow, they just blowed me off like, oh, well, who cares?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I can tell you this. I mean, the interesting part to me is that people in your situation are almost hamstrung. Unless you could find somebody who lives in the precinct to push them to run. Because I'll be honest, if there's any way to shut this thing down, the people need to be able to have a voice. And your voice matters just as much as anybody else's. You should be able to ask the questions you want to ask and be given the answer if you are on their services. That's all there is to it.
There's services, but I'm not allowed to vote at the city election.
Well, I think something needs to be looked at on that.
you might need to call the PUC and talk to them, see if they can give you any kind of help. The Public Utility Commission.
Yeah, because I mean, what's
Yeah.
crazy is normally if electricity is running out to certain areas, at some point they annex certain areas.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's even an option. But neither here nor there. They should have been able to answer your questions, or at least point you in the right direction, not run you around the circus. So.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I enjoy y'all's shows. First, I've known about your show, but I sit down to listen to it tonight.
Man, I appreciate you
it,
calling
man.
in. Thanks for listening,
Thank you.
bud. Ladies and gentlemen, this was not in the budget simply for the fact that Jasper can't afford this without your electricity monies. I want you to think about this. Your electrical bill that you pay in, because they're part of a buying group, okay? Because they're part of a buying group, they receive refunds, they receive rebates, and all this stuff. Well, that's accumulated to over $30 million. Okay? So instead of reducing your electric bill out there, they've decided to go into broadband. I'll be honest with you. There's multiple carriers out
That
there.
makes no sense to me.
It makes no sense. Here's the other thing. Here's the other deal. What about giving the servicemen, like your fire department,
That was my point.
police department?
Fix the dadgum roads.
Well, so they've used a little bit of the money to do that, okay? But here's my thing. How much of that money could be spent on keeping good employees down there at the police station?
Well, that's the problem. They're not paying the cops anything.
No.
So they go to somebody else who's paying real money, the policeman.
I remember one day, I was thinking about. I was like, man, I wonder how much policemen make, because I mean,
Right.
it seems like a noble
Profession.
No, it seems like a noble
Yeah.
profession.
Yeah.
My God, we're paying teachers more than that. And I'm sitting here
I
going,
know Jasper cops don't make anything. I
man,
know this.
I'm just sitting here thinking, this is absurd. So we've got this boatload of money here, but we're going to turn around and try to jump off into a business nobody at Jasper even knows how to do. Now, here's one thing I haven't heard anybody talk about: the fact that the Kramer Services Group, all they're doing is infrastructure stuff.
Right.
Who's going to be manning the broadband service? Because it's not going to be Kramer Services Group. These guys are just doing the infrastructure.
Right.
So who does the service?
So is the city going to have to hire people to come in and do this?
You're going to end up with another one of these companies out here
And I'm
who's
wondering-
probably already in the area.
It's going to take it over.
It's crazy to me. This is lunacy at its best, and I couldn't have said it better than I said it a minute ago. It's the blind leading the deaf and the dumb.
So Jay, while we're talking about this, explain to me about this 741% more than anybody else in the area.
What in the world? I know. Here's the thing, man. I think what this shows is, this goes back to what we said here a couple of weeks ago or last week, whatever. If there's not a cousin or a brother or something like that working for one of these companies, this is showing you how ignorant. This is the ignorance of leadership here in this town. Let's jump over here to caller number 1. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, how you doing tonight?
I'm trying to do
Doing
good,
good.
bud. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am totally flabbergasted about what I'm hearing, what transpired at Jasper City Hall tonight.
Us too.
Jasper anymore.
Were you with us tonight? Were you with us over at the police department?
No, I was
Okay.
not able to make it.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
But what I want to say, I hope that the citizens of Jasper have a conscience where that they know they so-called leaders at City Hall in reference to the mayor and the other councilmen didn't even think enough to respect their colleagues.
Exactly.
Just downright disrespectful. I hope the citizens of Jasper call a petition or ask the mayor to resign. And
Absolutely.
I hope that all of those city councilmen that disrespected their colleagues, disrespected the citizens of Jasper, didn't have enough moral respect for themselves to come out and let the people speak. Because from my understanding, it was a meeting for the people to ask questions about broadband, about whatever they had questions about. And these so-called leaders, city council, mayor, disrespected. It just goes to show you some people get in a little position of power or authority and it goes to their head and they don't have respect for nobody else, or they just a few constituents that they respond to, but the masses is left hanging with everything that don't need to be hanging with, like light bills,
Yeah.
outrageous light bills, and all this money that they want to invest in something that even govern them doing that. So I'm just so full.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be on record. This is crazy.
It is crazy. It
And
is.
I hope some other people call in tonight, and don't be afraid of these weak leaders in Jasper, Texas, up there call themselves the mayor of Jasper, and these so-called other council members.
Yeah.
They knew what they was doing.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
Unintentionally.
Yeah, that's exactly
Not
right.
no coincidence.
No.
This was not something that they had something to do
know they heard it. They had friends. Not only that, from my understanding tonight, the city takes up, they disrespected it.
That's exactly
They
right.
said, forget Jasper, Texas. Forget the people of Jasper. I don't care what you think.
Yeah.
We're going to do what we want to do.
That's exactly what they did. If
You're right.
I mean, here's the thing, man. We are just as blown away by this situation as I think anybody here in the community is. But here's one thing I can say: the people can stand up. The people can demand a different way. They can begin to put the pressure where the pressure needs to be on these four individuals. And to be honest with you, you know, May's coming right around the corner. Michael Daniels is up. David Schultz is up, Laura Golden's up, and I think between now and then, the people of Jasper need to get so twisted off at Mayor Sayers that he resigns immediately. Because, I mean, this is no way to lead a community.
Exactly.
At least listen to your people. Hey, we appreciate you giving us a call.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to chime in, we've got a few more minutes here. 384-2626, what's your thoughts?
Can I add something here? He was absolutely right about people getting in power and showing themselves.
Yeah.
You know, I talked with a guy for years and years and years, and he ran for school board.
Okay.
And was elected to the school board. Had a complete personality change.
Sure.
He let the power get to his head.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there going, what happened here?
Yeah.
What happened here? And I'm hoping this is not what has happened here. But it's kind of looking this way.
Here's the thing. We can't even ask them the question.
Yeah.
We can't even ask them these questions, just simply for the fact that they refuse to listen to the people. And so, to me, I'm just blown away by this whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm really blown away by it because they thought they were going to be cute. They thought they were going to be cute with this. We're not going to go down there. They thought they were going to be cute. Some of these people are business owners.
I know.
I think it's going to cost them in the long run.
I think so.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, sir. I'm on.
Yes,
You're
sir.
on the air.
I've been. This is the first time I listened tonight, and I live outside the city limits. So I have JNet. But I wanted to call in because I've been listening and I like what I hear. But I was just wanting to give props to the two members that showed up.
Absolutely,
Yes, sir.
man. Absolutely. Yeah, I think they gave us a great opportunity.
That's the kind of people I would want to represent our city.
Absolutely. Hey, man, we appreciate you calling in.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, give us a call, 384-2626, 384-2626. Let's see here. Let's look what we was just given. Since there was not a quorum, there could not be a meeting of the city council. So city council members Anderson Land and DeMarcus Holmes said that they would just have an open discussion with those who came. City Secretary Karen Pumphrey said rules would not allow them to meet at City Hall. That's the reason we had to change
Went to
locations.
the police department.
Yep. Former Mayor Mike Lout said there was no such rule and challenged Pumphrey to produce the rule, and she could not. Yeah, well.
Oh, man.
Okay, the last part says, when everyone got ready to go outside in the dark and meet the police chief, Gerald Hall, then invited the group to come to the police station and meet there, saying it would be it was a public building. So basically, they were offered the opportunity, they were offered the place because they were being told that there were rules that were being potentially broken. They were basically saying they couldn't allow them to meet as a city council. We got somebody on the
We've got
line?
somebody on the
Okay.
line.
All right, caller, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to make a brief statement.
Okay.
Back in 2011, we had a city council who was rogue.
Okay.
He did things the way that they wanted to do. They didn't follow the city charter. They didn't follow any of the city policies. And they did what they wanted to do. And it cost a lot to
Okay.
the community.
Wow.
Right.
And, you know, if the mayor was a councilman then, and I think that they're just doing what they did then, again now, and it doesn't matter whose lives are changed and what the cost is, they're just gonna do what they wanna do.
Yeah.
And that's just it.
Well, let me ask you this. How do you feel about the fact that your city council people nor your mayor showed up tonight?
I think it's an act of cowardice.
Okay?
I think that they have an agenda and they're willing to accomplish it with whatever means are necessary.
Okay?
And I believe that they're doing no different than the council of Terry, Northworthy, and Woolly Land.
Okay? Okay. Well, I tell you what, man, we appreciate that input.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for calling.
Thanks for calling.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. This is not the first rodeo with Jasper. This is not the first rodeo with Jasper. So, I mean, you know, it really is baffling. But here's the thing, you know, going back to what the gentleman said, though. The gentleman made the statement. He said, you know, once they get into that role, it goes to their head. And so, to me,
He's right. He's right. I've seen it before.
it's looking like it.
I know it.
It really is looking like
I know it.
We got
We have
another
another
caller.
caller.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I want to know, Jasper is such of a lovely place.
Yes,
Of
ma'am.
course. Right, we have a lot of tourism, but we have apparently a lot of money just to blow in the air. I wonder why the children don't have a swimming pool or a skateboarding park or.
Yeah, because they spent a hell of a lot of money on that park.
Yeah.
Like a dog park and to attract people to come to Jasper.
Sure.
Sure.
I think that's
And what about our children? They don't need to be on the computers. They need to be swimming. And it's not prejudice. Everybody swims together. Even in Montana, they have swimming pools.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, I mean, it's cold up there, so that makes complete sense.
Jasper's children, we're all thinking about all these old people and money. Who's going to be on that?
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you for calling
Thank
in.
you for calling.
Let's hear a swimming pool. Have you ever drove by one? Because they're never down but Jasper.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point. We appreciate your call.
We got our children out playing in the yard instead of on computers.
Hey, I think you got a great point.
Right?
Have a good night. Ladies and gentlemen, interesting observation there. You know, even Montana's got pools.
Okay, I guess in the winter it freezes over. They can play hockey on it.
At
There
least,
you go.
At least a little starter league.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a great idea. They spend a lot of money. I would be interested to know what the budget on Sandy Creek Park. And I'm not griping because Sandy Creek Park is a lovely park.
Oh, it's a lovely
Okay.
park.
But some of the stuff they're talking about right there, I'm sitting here going, okay, well, I mean,
yeah.
well, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, setting up a skate park, setting up a swim pool sounds like a great idea.
Those are pretty good ideas.
I
I'll be honest
I
with
think
you.
we ought to start with the resignation of the mayor.
Yeah.
And I think whoever's out here in the city, I think if you're not running and you believe you can run and you've got some sense and you're not willing to go rogue, you're really willing to listen to the people. For the love of God, run. Run
I think
against
so.
these people.
Yeah.
I mean, what is happening here? You know, so give us a call. Hey, well, I say give us a call.
Yeah.
Man, we got 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left.
Kind of went quick tonight, didn't it?
Yeah, it went quick. We appreciate all of our callers. We're here with you every Thursday night. It's called Not on the Payroll. Why is it called that? Not on the payroll. That's because we ain't on nobody's
Well,
payroll.
we can get a nickel one. for
Ain't
this.
getting a nickel one, and nobody can cut us off. Mike Lout said that he would stand behind free speech.
Yeah. He's
See,
a First
we was-
Amendment man.
We was on another radio station
Yeah,
here
yeah,
in
I
the
remember
region
that.
at one point, and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
asked us to leave. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, that's not a hit
Yeah.
on nobody else.
And I'm disappointed Jesus didn't step in and help us.
Well, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But neither here nor there. We do appreciate you guys for listening out there. Go to notonthepayroll.com. Go check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook. Please like and share everything we did. You know, everything we've done thus far has just been for you because, you know, really, our whole mission is to get the information out to the public. And so you being the public out there, go and take advantage of the work we're doing. We're doing interviews constantly, and we're trying to make sure you're at least aware of who's out here running and some of the situations going on. We want to thank everybody for calling in tonight. Want to send out a congratulations to the winners of all the races. And condolences over to James White. He made a bid.
I'm
and
disappointed.
I
I
was
am
too. I was too.
disappointed.
At the same time, that's democracy, man.
I know.
You got to go state your claim and
I know.
and make your voice be heard. You're going to be able to do that in Jasper, specifically for these councilman position in May. So we'll have more on that moving forward. But I'll be honest with you. Let's start with the mayor stepping down and resigning, because tonight was not a good show of any kind of leadership.
No.
We appreciate you guys for listening. You have been listening to Not on the Payroll. Have a great night.
Good night, America.
Holmes has an opponent. I forgot his name. Holmes has an opponent. Interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuning in here on Facebook, yeah, look at us. I need my glasses. Carrie needs his
Somebody's
glasses.
do need to resign. Total lack of serving the citizens. Ask something.
Let's see here. Let's see what they got to say. Hey, thanks for writing. That's a lot.
Doctoral
Go
dissertation
ahead.
here. Ask if there is a connection with broadband in the street lights or any internet in the street lights. Ask what the tech functionality capabilities are on LED street lights will have or planned in the future. Ask if the reason why they do not want to pay police staffing with some broadband money that has accumulated from utility funds. It is because they're wanting us to move into intelligence LED policing. Jasper citizens deserve to know why the requests for full transparency for broadband and city light contracts are being ignored. Besides not showing up tonight, the additional fact that they put up a website and have to submit questions for them to receive them behind a screen says a lot. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, they're right.
Wow.
Yeah. Smart
Renee.
policing. Smart policing.
Renee, we appreciate your help there, lady.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys for
Smart
tuning in.
policing.
Check back with us on next Thursday
thought
night.
about that.
Smart
Man.
policing in Jasper. We need to get smart leadership.
You never know, man.
Smart leadership,
You never
ladies
know.
and gentlemen. Smart
Wow.
leadership. Would you agree?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
You guys have a great night.
Yeah.